Okay, it's great sleeping in there. Now to go find some food and get a very small resupply. Basically just had to grab dinner for tonight with the ramen, spam, some almonds, and I got a Gatorade for the walk out. These two visited me in the baseball dugout last night. I was wondering as I heard stepping behind me, I was like, what in the world is that? And yeah, looked out of my quilt and saw a deer hanging out. It was like right next to me, maybe 10 feet away. Very cute. Well, this is a great place to spend the night. I slept in that far dugout there. I got to listen to that creek run all night. It was beautiful. Then I had some deer visit me. It was really nice. It's very kind of the town to allow people to camp out here. Okay, it is now 8 a.m. and time to hit the trail. I spent a lot of time back at that restaurant, almost an hour. I did not want to leave. It was warm in there and the food was good. But still hitting the trail at a decent hour, and we've got 24 miles or 20-ish miles to go, and then we'll set up camp somewhere tonight and then walk into Pagosa tomorrow. Last look at the town of Creede. That was freaking awesome, even though I was only there overnight. And look at the cliff walls. What a neat town. Friendly too. On we go. Let's get to Pagosa. This is how they've been marking the trails. Looks like some overflow signage that they had just laying around that they used. It's pretty cool. Good way to recycle, and it's got staying power. So it was one heck of a climb to get up here, but we are up on top now and actually about to join a Forest Service road right now. It's funny, on the AT, probably would have killed for one of these. Like, they have done such an exceptional job getting the trail off of roads on the Appalachian Trail. And probably 20 or 30 years ago, a huge percentage of the AT used to be on Forest Service roads, and you can still see some of the old blazes and markers if you take some of the alternates or different routes on the AT. But out here, it's pretty common. And you can tell that the Continental Divide Trail Commission or Association, I think it's association, is really doing their best to move away from these roads. But I don't know, I think a well-placed dirt road walk after a long bit of trail is pretty awesome. Feels like heaven when you can get it, because you're like, oh man, I can cruise 3 miles an hour and I know the grade is never going to be above what a vehicle can take, so it's generally pretty smooth. All right, guys, enough professing my love for dirt roads. Talk to you later. Whew, y'all, the trail has been incredible today. Excellent tread, huge amounts of beauty. The fall colors are really starting to come on. And it's got me being a little reflective. This happened on the Appalachian Trail once we started getting towards the end. It was almost like taking a step back and being like, oh wow, this is actually coming to an end. And you start to appreciate the little things a little bit more, like being in camp. And the other night I was just looking around my tent like, I'm not going to be in this much longer. You know, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. And I'll be back at home in my bedroom and looking at a ceiling instead of Dyneema and the night sky. And it's an interesting clash of worlds and realization that a journey this long is truly coming to an end. And you start to think, what have I gotten from this? What do I still want to get from this? Do I have any bucket list hike items? And those are some of the thoughts that are running through my head right now is really, what am I taking away? What do I still want? And just trying to reflect on the journey as a whole, because when you're in it, it's like being in the eye of the storm and everything's moving around you. So when you can step outside of that for a moment and take it in and start to appreciate the gravity of what's happening, it's an interesting feeling. You know, it's also an interesting feeling is that I choose to do these right before the uphill. Anyways, I'm going to turn off the philosophical brain and turn off getting the hell up this hill brain. First snake of the trip that I've seen anyway. This little guy or gal was hanging out right on the trail. Sorry if the camera wants to keep focusing elsewhere. Let's bring it back to the head. So just hanging out. It's cold out too, which is really surprising. Yeah, just chilling there. Well behaved, got off the trail as soon as I walked up. Alright, on we go. Hey guys, I am stopping just a little bit short of where I planned on today due to weather. The wind has kicked up pretty hard, and the further up I go into this valley, the less vegetation I'll have. It got burned a lot more up there, so I would lose a lot of the protection that I have down here. I'm also close to water here as well, and what you can't see is this valley is going like this up to the CDT, and at the level of the CDT and what I'm seeing is dropping is cloud cover, and that could be a system that could mean like a minimum. If you're in the clouds, there's going to be moisture, so it'd mean I would be wet, I would not have as much cover, it would be a burn area, so there would be tree falling risk, a couple other factors that aren't worth it to get 2 miles from me. I've already got a pretty short day in Pagosa tomorrow anyway, so it's just not worth risking it. So I'm going to set up shop right here. The trail is actually up on that ridge behind me. I couldn't find any suitable spots there, so I went ahead and just dropped down here. And I've got way more cover down here with the spruce, and I've got the willow as well. And that's really breaking a lot of the wind that's just ripping down this valley. And I forgot to mention earlier, but I past a placard that said they recorded like an 125-mile-an-hour wind gust or something like that in the valley, just a little bit down, a little lower than where I'm at now. So that tells me that this area has a propensity for high winds anyway, and I don't want to play those games. So yeah, I'm gonna get the tent set up and get food going. Look at this baby spruce. One day you will grow up and protect a hiker. So it's actually pretty fortuitous that I stopped, because what I didn't see is all this behind me, and that is looking pretty gnarly. I'm hearing thunder coming out of it too, so glad I made the decision to hunker down. I'm currently improving my living space. I think the winds are going to get pretty strong, and all of this ground is old stream bed. You can probably hear the stream, it's like right there. So a lot of like river rock, things like that. Kind of hard to get a really good bite with these stakes because it's kind of moving in between these rocks. So what I'm doing is just finding large rocks and putting them over the stakes to hold everything in. It's we do that quite a bit in Alaska, because a lot of where we camp is on riverbeds or up on mountainsides, so not a huge amount of soil to dig into. But I'm going to continue to improve my living space and then lay down and make dinner. We are all staked out, and now let me take you to my water source. It's just a little jaunt through here, and based on all the willows I'm seeing, I would not be surprised at all if I had a moose come visit me, because they have already been through here and trimmed a lot of this. So that would not be surprising, but here we are, folks. Right down from the tent, we've got a beautiful stream. Oh man, looks like it would hold fish. Lots of good spots to hold fish anyway. I'm looking but not seeing anything. So yeah, get some water and then get back into the tent. There's our ominous sky up there. So yeah, now we can see it moving in real fast. Tonight we have got ramen and then substance posing as meat. I'm gonna put the ramen in the pot there that is warming up some water, and then I'll boil it for like a minute or two and then throw the Spam on top of that and call it a day. The rain has begun. I'm glad we stopped early. And I can hear thunder in the distance, so seems like it was a wise decision to stop. Well, the ramen did not last long, and now it is time to finish out with some Trader Joe's cookies. Shout out to Emily, thank you so much. Hey guys, we'll go ahead and do the closeout for today. Started the morning off at the baseball dugout in the town of Creede, Colorado. And then shortly thereafter got some delicious breakfast. And before that even, we went to the gas station, got our Spam and ramen for dinner. And had that delicious breakfast and hiked out of town. It was along a semi-busy rural highway, but not too terrible. And then began the climb up to make our way back towards the red line. From Creede itself back to the red line, I believe it's 27 miles. And we ended up doing about 23 of those today. 23, 24 miles. And we've got about 4 to get back up on the red line. And once we get back up on the red line, I think it's like 14 or 15 miles from there to the highway pass where we'll be getting off for Pagosa. And we're actually going to be linking up with Leslie and her husband there in Pagosa. They are former Warrior Expeditions community supporters. So it's been a little bit of time since we've linked up with a supporter. Really looking forward to it. So we'll spend the night with them tomorrow night. And then I will zero with them the following day, which will be the 24th of September, I believe. And then Mari and Joe, who you will remember, met me for dinner in Grand Lakes, Colorado, are going to come pick me up and then take me back to Denver, and then we'll attend the wedding. And we'll be off trail for 4 to 5 days. It's crazy that tomorrow is going to be the last day of hiking for a little bit of time. And boy, am I so excited, because I will also get to see Swiss Miss and all of her wonderful family. And it is just going to be such a nice time. And I'm so excited and so grateful that I'll be able to attend and see everyone. And boy, it's just going to be a very welcome break. Not that I haven't been enjoying the trail, but it's going to be so nice to be able to take a little bit of time off, and it's going to coincide perfectly with our entry into New Mexico, which will be 4 days after we get back on trail into Kama or Chama. I'm going to figure out how to say it the right way at some point. And yeah, and then the last state, guys, we're within striking distance. Crazy. It's so, yeah, it's unreal. I talked about this earlier, and it's just hard to comprehend at this point that this is actually winding down. Anyways, guys, I'm going to rack out. I will see you in the morning.